In this video, we are going to talk about the present simple in terms of form and use. First, we're going to start with form. With the present simple, we say, I work, you work, we work, and they work. The verb is the same. We don't add anything to it. But with he, she, it, we say he works, she works, and it works. We add an S to the verb, just like Sally works, Jack works. But with these, I, you, we, they, we don't add anything to the verb. And when we negate a sentence, we simply add do not or does not before the verb. So, for example, I do not work, you do not work, we do not work, they do not work. But again, with he, she, it is anagrammatical to say he do not work. It's incorrect. You have to say he does not work, she does not work, it does not work. And what you notice here is that there is no S added to the verb, because in negative sentences and questions, the S is omitted. So we simply say he does not work. And if you want to make it shorter, you can use short forms, especially in conversation or spoken language. So for example, you can say you don't work, we don't work, or she doesn't work, it doesn't work, he doesn't work, and so on. But be careful that when you write a paragraph, for example, you have to use full forms. And by full forms, I mean do not and does not, and so on. And with the questions, it's very simple. So take a look at this sentence, for example. You work till late. All you have to do is to add do or does to the beginning of the sentence. So in this case, you work till late, we say, do you work till late? That's simple. And the answer is, yes, I do, no, I don't. Another example, Jack and Bill live together. Again, if we want to make it a question, we add do or does to the beginning of a sentence. And in this case, in this sentence, it becomes do Jack and Bill. Because we have Jack and Bill, that's why we say do Jack and Bill live together. The answer is yes, they do, no, they don't, and so on. The last example is Sandra likes food. Again, we add do or does to the beginning. Since we have Sandra, we add does. Does Sandra like? Again, the S is omitted. There is no S, just like with negative sentences. And now with the questions. Does Sandra like food? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. And so on. And now we come to the uses. We use the present simple for habits or actions that happen regularly or repeatedly. So for example, I brush my teeth every day. We often fly to Turkey when we go. I always have lunch with my family or have dinner with my family. So what you notice here is that we use adverbs of a frequency, just like often, always, usually, occasionally, and so on, just to show that how often action takes place. We can also use the present simple with general facts that are always true, or in other words, fixed, that don't change, just like 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's a fact. We can also use it with general facts that we, as people, think are true at the present time at least. So for example, I live in Baghdad. So for the time being, I live in Baghdad. But who knows, maybe in 10 years, 20 years, I may move to another country or city. So, but at the time being, or for the time being, I live in Baghdad. We can also use it for future timetables. So if someone, for example, asks you, what time does the bus arrive? You say it arrives or the bus arrives at 7 in the morning. This means that, of course, this happens in the future, but it doesn't happen once. No, it happens many times and repeatedly. But these repeated actions are in the future on a timetable, fixed timetable, which is 7 o'clock, in this case, in the morning. And the last thing is that we use it for short actions, just like in sports commentary. Here we have an example. Messi takes the ball and scores. Now we take a look at a paragraph, a short paragraph, using the present simple to talk about your daily life. So here we have someone called John. John wakes up at 7 in the morning. This is his habit. He makes himself breakfast. He brushes his teeth. He changes his clothes and takes the bus to college. This is every day, the same thing. He gets home at 2 in the afternoon. He takes a nap. He does not go out on weekdays because he studies. He goes out at the weekend. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.